Welcome to S&G. If you've already subscribed, thank you. If you haven't, consider it, and you know the rest. So I am working on the 61 Panhead, and let me show you what I have going on now. Maybe some people out there can help me. All right, so here's the scoop. I'll get a little bit of light for you. Actually, the light's for me, but it may help you guys see a little bit. Here's the bike. When the bike sits, and all Harleys, not all Harleys, but my Harley, this has been setting for a while. And when these things set for a while, they wet sump. And when they wet sump, you come out and everything is fine and dandy. And then all of a sudden I'll have a 1 foot, 16-inch puddle of oil underneath, which I don't. I just have a couple drips there from where it just happened. Been sitting up there for about 3 or 4 weeks. Been up there longer than that, but it sumped again. So here's what happens. Here's why it happens. Here's our oil bag. All right, so all of our oil is in this container here, and it's higher than what the crankcase is. So gravity wants to work on that oil, and that oil wants to find its level. And actually, this right here, this is the vent line. This actually is what supplies oil to the engine, to the oil pump. But what happens is there is a right back here. This nut. Well, it's a screw nut. It's got a flat head top. When you take that out, there is a spring and there is a ball check in this. And what that does is that vent spring and vent ball valve or ball creates a seal that keeps the oil from draining from our oil bag down into our crankcase. And when it does drain down into the crankcase, I can't see it, done enough research, maybe somebody can tell me exactly, but I have been told that somewhere behind this sprocket at 4 o'clock, there's the vent. And when this oil fills that crankcase up to that vent, it starts just pouring out the vent. Pours out the vent, runs down here, drips off, creates a hell of a puddle right here. So if anybody can line me out on exactly where that hole is, and I even went over this 60, which should be the same, and I've got the inner primary off. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, I do see a small hole there. Someone said 4 o'clock, but then, I've read some other things too. I've never actually, I don't know where it's at. So I think it's here. If anybody has a input, it'd greatly be appreciated. Line me out. But so what happens is as that crankcase fills up to this vent mark, it starts to spill out, which is normal. There's nothing. I don't know if it's normal, but it happens quite a bit with Harleys. So what I'm going to do, since I can and want to, is I am going to take off this voltage regulator, a rectifier regulator, and it's rubber mounted. There is a screw here and there's a screw down here, and I'm going to set it up here. I probably should disconnect the battery, and I'm going to try to get access to this screw right here to take that off, take the spring out, and take the ball out. Check the ball, check the seat, and just see what it's like. While I'm in there, I'll probably take out this, there's a spring and a valve in here for the oil pressure. I'll probably take it out just to look and make sure it's clean and so on and so forth. I'm hoping that I don't have to take the vent line off. I might have to take this vent line off, as well as the nipple, the male part, so I can get to the top of this. But I hope I can sneak through. So I'm gonna set up a camera and we'll start taking this apart, see what we find. All right. Well, I will try to get this bottom Phillips. There we go. Take that one out. Take this one on. And we do have wires from the battery coming behind this, so I'm going to set this up here. Okay, and this is the one I want to take off. So what I'm going to do is I grabbed a big screwdriver. I'm going to set that in there. And I'm going to take a 10 millimeter box end wrench or spanner. And as you can see, that does fit on there. So I'm going to come up a little higher. I'm going to use that spanner. I'm going to try to maybe it's on there. Okay, let's see. Boy, that baby's on there. That's what I didn't want to do. Not a big deal, but that is on there. So what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to heat that up a little bit. We'll see if we can get it out. Bear with me. All right, so wow, this has been fun. Okay, so the last thing I like to do is mar up parts. Sometimes there's just no way around it. I struggled getting that off. So what I did, this is real world stuff here. Obviously, the first thing I did was clean it off, get all the goop and gunk around the edges. I sprayed it with some Croil. I heated it up. Then I double heated it up. We have to watch when we heat things up. I mean, it's you got that's cast. This cast aluminum. This is cast metal here, the oil pump. We have wires around here. So I have to, I had to MacGyver up some things to get in here to keep from another piece of metal, in a wet rag around things to keep from burning up wires. So once I was able to do that, I heated 2, 3, 4 times. I used this screwdriver, and I'm able to get a 1/2-inch rinser on there. Could not get it with that. I went with the big boy. With the 10 millimeter wrench, I could not get it. I hammered it. A couple wraps, just trying to break stuff up, separate anything that's held. And I want to watch because I don't want to bang on this so much that that I hurt the casting of the engine, etc. That, I'm not going there. At least I'm not going to try. I also tried the old handy dandy, I don't even know what the right impact driver. There you go. Impact driver. And it's got a nice heavy duty, you know, I used that with, oh, what did I have? I don't even know where it's at now. I had a 1/2 inch extension. Oh, yeah. 1/2 inch extension on there, and I beat on it enough to where I got scared. Then I went ahead and I tried with a breaker bar. That's a big, thick, you know, and I couldn't get it loose with a breaker bar. So the next thing I did, had to go to some vice grips, and I didn't want to do that, but I went with some vice grips, and I did finally get it loose, but I have been working on that for half an hour. Anyhow, that's all part of the gig. So what I'm hoping to do is, and I'm doing all this just to check a ball and a spring. Let's hope it gets me somewhere, right? Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, there we go. So it is loose now. So I'm able to get in here, and I don't know, I might have to, I don't know if I can get the ball out. But this is the first time that it's come out, and nobody's had this out in quite some time, unless a gorilla did it. So there you go. I'm sure there is a spring in here. Should be right here at the top that we can grab. And it is. And it is not that heavy duty of a spring. And I don't want to elongate it because I don't want, I'm sure it's built for a certain amount of pressure. So we'll take that out. And there's a ball in there, and about the best way to get that is a small magnet. So I'm going to try to pull that out, and let's see what it looks like. All right, so I was able to get this magnet down in the hole and pulled that ball out. Now, one thing I don't like to see ever is, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a chunk of metal that's magnetized. I don't know if you can see that. Here it is. See that piece of magnet? There it is. So I need to see if that's a chunk or if that's an orb. What is that? And if that was laying underneath that ball, that would make sense. But also, you know, you don't like to see any metal inside your engine, so see what that is. Yeah, it's a small piece of metal. Little sliver. So that could have been, obviously, I'm going to see if I can pull anything else out. But, yeah, that, you know, who knows, man? Don't know. Could be something off the gear, or one of the gears of the oil pump. I didn't see a lot of metallic in my oil filter. I saw a little bit, but man, I'm expecting. I think one time I said this bike, through my great math skills, was like 73 to 76 years old. It's not. It's 63 years old. Ball looks really good. Ball looks good. So let's go fishing. I can feel him down against the seat. And I really don't have anything in there. So I'm not going to do the lower end. I'm not going to do the top end of this motor. This motor ran. It ran very smooth. It didn't have any noises. So I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. I mean, it is what it is. I am going to clean this ball up and clean the spring up. I'll see if I can look down in there and see that seat now. Some people have said, I've seen a guy take the end of he claimed on knuckleheads, panheads, shovelheads, that ball is the exact same size as a push rod end off of an Evolution engine. And what he did, I've seen people weld a piece of metal to these balls, and you know, obviously you wouldn't want to lap anything with any kind of a grit while it's on your motor, but they'd lap that seat, put a post on this, and do one of these numbers, you know, and lap that and get that seat good. This guy took this push rod with the same size end as the ball, Evolution. I've never heard this, I've never seen it done. Cut it off where it was sticking out about this, you know, up about this far, and then doink, peened down in, and he said he flattened or seated that, and that would stop leaks. If anybody's ever tried that, let me know. I am not going to do that here, because I don't know enough about that. I'm not sure if this is a guy, you know, who's done 40 of them or got lucky one time. So I am going to, I'll also take this apart here too. And we'll see. 11/16, no, bigger than that. But we'll take this spring out and we'll see what we got going in there too. All right, so behind here is the oil pump valve and the oil pump release spring. And this happens to be 3/4 of an inch. There we go. There we go. So we'll take that off. Okay, you have a brass washer right there. Here's your spring. I think it doesn't matter, but I am going to keep it in the position it came out. And then we're going to see if we can get the oil valve out. Typically, let's see here. I'll clean up in there a little bit, clean those threads out, try to get some oil out of it. And I will use a pick and see if I can get that out. And once I get to those threads, it'll probably be a bear. I'll dig in a little bit, and there we go. All right. There's your oil pump valve, and that will go onto your spring like that and fits in there. So all I'm going to do is clean and inspect, give this oil a place to go, blow that out, look at the seat, make sure the seat is nice, and I'll just fit it all back together. The ball looked pretty good. I think if anything, the seat might need lapped, or maybe that piece of metal was underneath there. That might be it. And then assembly will go back the same way. I'd look and see if there's any torques, you know, on any of these. I haven't found a lot in the old manuals, so I'll torque them where they don't leak and go from there. So there you go. That is how you check your ball and your spring and your oil valve. All right. Well, I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and that was to take out this ball and make sure that it wasn't scorn, you know, messed up. I wanted to look down in here and look at the seat. I did clean that out. I looked, I didn't see anything. I also wanted to check the spring to make sure that it was good. I'm not gonna, you know, it's hard to not want to just think, I'll just stretch out a little bit, but but I'm not going to. So I'm going to put this thing back together. So what I did before I put anything back together is I took both of the plugs that came out of there and I cleaned the surfaces very good. I brushed them off, cleaned my springs, cleaned my seats in here, also cleaned this flat edge so I have the best shot of getting it sealed. You take the ball, drop it in the hole, drop your spring in on top of it, and then I will take this stubborn cap that I had to fight to get out, and I will put that spring in that hole. And grab a screwdriver. And see if I can get that started. Maybe now I'll grab a little bigger one. And get that to seat. And I will take I think that was 1/2 inch. Find my 1/2 inch wrench. There it is. And I'll go on here. I'll put that in there. And I will give that a little snugging. I'm not going to get crazy. I'm going to snug it up. I think that'll be good. And the next thing I'll do is I will put my oil valve on the spring. That will go in. Okay. And then I will take my cap. Get that started. And I think that was 3/4. And give that a little tighten that up a little bit. And I'm good. Next thing I'll do is I'm going to clean back in here a little bit. I'm not going to put you through the pain of that. And then I will take my regulator and I will put my 2 Phillips back in, and I'll be back to the way I started. So if you get a chance, smash that bug, punch that monkey in the throat, bang that bell, whatever you're supposed to do. If you see my fat bastard buddy Jones, tell him I said hey and have a good weekend. And if you ride him, wrench him, but only if you want to. Enjoy your weekend. See ya.